andei quando criança pra poder ir trabalhar. Eu já sei remar contra a maré, mas não venha me pedir pra andar de ré, pois é. Eu cresci no gueto, eu cresci com preto. Não é você que vai fazer eu me enganar. Correr contra o vento era o meu passatempo, e o sol que batia ardia. Nem tudo era dureza, tinha natureza e o mar pra mergulhar. Eu já sei remar contra a maré, mas não venha me pedir pra andar de ré, pois é. Já sou gato escaldado nessa trilha ando descalço. Não é você que vai fazer eu tropeçar ou duvidar ou tropeçar ou duvidar.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Lee Peterson. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Hi, y'all. You can get involved by calling 888-775-3773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse, Jesse. Brand new biblical question for this week. Do you want to be different? Do you want to be different? A very interesting question. And interesting responses to it, too. Very nice. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're busy and about, you're working out, you're having breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you're sending your children off to a public school to be punished, traumatized, you can be listening to the show by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live. You can podcast all the shows as well, but you can be listening by calling the listen line at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond JLP Cash App. Manhood Hour is coming up in the third hour today. Every Wednesday, third hour, Manhood Hour. So it's the last Wednesday of the month already. Isn't that amazing? Your friend, my friend, and a friend of the United States of America is here. One of the smartest white men on this side of heaven. It happened in history, by the way. Bill Lockwood. And most of you know that Bill is the host of Patriotic Pulpit and Bible studies with Bill Lockwood. He is a preacher at Our Park Church of Christ in Texas. And you can support him. And I want to encourage you to go and support Bill at American Liberty with Bill Lockwood. American Liberty with Bill Lockwood. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you today?
All is well. How much time we have with you?
Oh, let's say about 35 minutes. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Well, maybe if we stretch it to 40, that'll be okay.
Okay. So,
All
Bill,
right.
I know that you were not prepared for this, and we don't have to get into it, but I was just wondering, in the Bible, it talks about there was a war between God and Satan. Are you familiar with that?
I think so.
Do you and again, I know you wasn't ready for it. I just haven't heard anyone talk about it at all lately. And I remember growing up, the preachers used to talk about the war that happened in heaven when God threw Satan out of heaven because he wanted to be God or something like that. How much do you know about that, or if anything?
Well, that's from Revelation chapter 12. So we don't have information pertaining to that except in the book of Revelation. Consequently, it's somewhat speculative about being cast out of heaven. As far as the origin of Satan is concerned, I believe that must have been the case. He either was created evil or he became evil, and I cannot believe that he was created evil. So he became evil, therefore he must have been cast out of heaven. And I think Revelation 12, even though it speaks about war, that's not referring to necessarily physical combat,
right?
But it is a passage that speaks about a spiritual war that takes place, and then Satan cast out. So that's what we have from Revelation chapter 12.
Oh, okay, amazing. I wanted to talk to you about a lot. Number one, what do you think about what happened with Joe Biden, in that the Democrats wanted him out, so they got rid of him, and they put in Kamala Harris, someone they did not want. They ended up with her. And now it seems as though we don't even have a president working right now. No one is there.
Yeah.
What do you think about what happened with Joe Biden and the Democrats and the media and everything?
Okay, there's a couple of thoughts very quickly, Jesse. Number one, it does prove to the American people that there has been a shadow government that's controlling everything all the time, because Joe Biden has not been able to do so. He's not now doing so. Yeah. And they had big players come in, namely Barack Obama, who's supported by George Soros, who came in along with the Nancy Pelosi's of the world, and they orchestrated that. So number one, it does show us that they have had a government behind the scenes, a shadow government that's controlling everything that's going on. Joe Biden is a puppet. He has always been a puppet. So that's number one. Number two, it just, of course, I think was a flagrant abuse of the American people, because the Democrats did not choose Kamala Harris. That is, they just kicked Joe Biden. In other words, Barack Obama set the table for them, and he says, here is what you're going to choose from. That's it. I would be ashamed to be a Democrat and to think that, okay, they're going to set the table for me, and here's what I've got to go with. To me, that is, I don't know, it's just almost a confession by the Democratic Party and the mainstream media that, yes, the powers that be, the deep state, is setting the table for me, and I'm going to have to go along with whatever they say. That is incredible.
Well, but and you're right, and knowing this, I'm surprised, but not surprised that the voters of the Democratic Party, people who vote for the Democrat, they're still willing to vote for these people. What is wrong with the voters?
Democrats don't care about the issues except for the fact that they want a global government, they want socialism, they want universal health care, they want socialized medicine, they want totalitarian government. They don't care about the specific issues behind it. They don't care that they're being lied to. Kamala Harris has lied about everything. They always like to say Donald Trump has lied, about his personal relationships with some of the women in the past. And so, you know what? The Democratic Party has been fed a pack of lies on their policies for a long time. Kamala Harris is doing that right now, saying, well, no, I'm not against fracking. Yes, she's against fracking. Yeah. She wants universal health care. She's acting like, well, no, I didn't want that. I wasn't against the wall. Yes, she was against the wall. She called it Trump's vanity project. She wants green energy. She wants to force you into an EV electric car. The whole thing is absolutely smoke and mirrors. But that goes back to Saul Alinsky. Saul Alinsky said, if you're going to lie, tell the big one. And they are telling big lies continually, and the Democrats love to be lied to. They love it. They love to be lied to.
So are you saying that the Democratic voters love to be lied to?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
the Democratic voters love to be lied to. They love it. They love lies.
And they want socialism?
Yes, they do. Yeah. Socialism has been on track since the time of Woodrow Wilson. FDR introduced socialism with a vengeance into our country, and he knew it, and the Democratic Party knew it, and so socialism was already on the rails for America. When we come to Lyndon B. Johnson, he actually exacerbated socialism, and so Barack Obama, they're putting the icing and the candles on the cake right now. That's what we've come to in America. We're already in a socialistic style system. That is, we're basically in a fascist government where the government partners with private industry. So there's not a private industry, there's not a private business that is not partners with the government, in the sense that the government controls all private partnerships. That's exactly what's going on. We've already got that. So the next step is communism.
Amazing. And so when I was growing up in the country, we loved capitalism. It gave you freedom,
right,
to do what you want. How did they convince the voters in America that socialism is better than capitalism? I mean, I don't understand how you can convince a free person that to be controlled is better than freedom.
Well, for one thing, this is just one thing about the psychology of it, Jesse, and that is that freedom demands competition.
Yeah.
And people avoid competition because they want to have the protection that they have gained so much money, or they have gained a position, and therefore they're not going to be competing for that position any longer, or competing. So it's just like a sports team. If a sports team is guaranteed to stay on the top, they'll opt for that,
right?
Because the competition demands a little bit of brutality, not to say ugliness, but simply it demands that you stay engaged in competitive enterprises. But people who are on the top, they don't want that. They want to remain in that position, and they don't like the competition. So that's exactly how the big businesses have been psychologically conditioned for it to be able to stay that way. So the big businesses love the partnerships with the government. The Wall Street, they're the ones supporting the Democratic Party. But they like that. They want that to be the case. And so that's one of the things about it.
Amazing.
Plus, I might just add this too. There's been a brainwashing going on since about the 1920s to the American people. The mainstream media has been on board for socialism, Marxism for that long. In that period of time, major magazine editors, major newspaper editors, New York Times people, they all went over to Soviet Union, and they wanted to learn the great things about Lenin. They loved Lenin. They loved Hitler. They loved Hitler in the 1930s, and they were all in favor of Hitler because it was a Nazi, which is National Socialist government. They loved socialism. So they went over, they learned about it. They were bragging on Hitler here until, of course, he started exterminating Jews, and now the Democrats try to run from that. But at that time, they loved all that kind of stuff.
That's amazing. And one other thing about that, you talked about Joe Biden has not been running the country. Obama and others been running apparently behind the scene.
Yeah.
To have a behind the scene government, that seems pretty risky for the country. Because our enemies, other countries, they would know that Joe Biden is not the real president. Doesn't that like put us at risk, great risk of being attacked or something?
I think so. I think that it puts America at great risk all around the globe.
Yeah.
Because who cannot see that he is a feeble, demented old man, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But one more point on the last thing, and that is another avenue that needs to be explored, Jesse, is that the basic bottom line of socialism, Marxism, communism is atheism. And because people hate God, because they are atheistic, because they want to do their own thing, they want to shake their fist in the face of God. Because of that, they are driven into socialistic governments. And so that's the bottom line with socialism also. Atheism is that which it was. Karl Marx said he was a scientific socialist, but the bottom line was atheism.
That's crazy. Once the people have gone socialism, after generation, it's kind of rooted into the country. Can you ever overcome that?
Well, you can at a particular point, but so as our founding fathers would say, it's at some point there's going to have to be bloodshed, and that's what Thomas Jefferson meant. That sometimes the tree of liberty is fed by the blood of patriots, because he said if you're going to keep it, you're going to have some pushback. And he didn't mean that we want to go fight all the time, but that's the nature of humanity, that people want to control others, and socialism is a control mechanism. And so to get out of that, you can through a democratic process sometimes, but once it gets so far, what happened with our founding fathers? They said the kingship, that kind of government, we don't want it anymore. They didn't go attack England. They didn't go attack the British soldiers. They didn't do that.
Right.
But instead, they said, we're not going to be part of this anymore, and we're going to withdraw from it. And then we had bloodshed because they said, no, you're not. No, you're not leaving. And that's exactly what's going to happen here in America. States like Texas are going to say, finally, if this continues this way, no, we're not going to be part of this anymore. Well, what are they going to do? Well, then we have bloodshed.
I hope that it doesn't get to that point.
I do too.
Because number one, I hope it doesn't get to that. And then number two, the men of those days doesn't exist anymore.
No.
There are no men today that know how to fight. You know, they don't know how to do a revolution thing.
No, we can skateboard and play on our iPads and that kind of thing. That's
Right.
about it. And play our games, all night long. And so kids come to school, they're all tired because they stay up all night playing games.
Right. So
Yeah.
so I hope it doesn't get to that, because I don't see any winning in that way.
No, I don't either.
I don't see any reason for anyone to vote for Kamala Harris at all. I don't see one reason for her to get one vote. And yet,
I don't either.
And yet, because she's pushing abortion, she's out there grinning to the women and carrying on, there are people who look like they're going to vote for her. And I just don't know how they come up with that in their minds.
So here's my thought on that generally. I remember when Barack Obama was running for president and he was campaigning, and so some of my friends, but and they're Christian people, and they said, well, maybe it's time. Okay, we let a black man run the country, and now the blacks will be happy because they'll see that we're not prejudiced. I said, what are you thinking? We don't think any deeper than skin color. What's wrong with us?
Yeah.
The same thing is going on now, where the Democrats are saying, well, we need a woman. I've heard that. I said, okay, we need a woman, and a colored woman, whether she's black or whatever, Jamaican, but we need a colored woman. Then they'll say, just like the press secretary now, they say, well, she got up and the first thing she said was, this is the first time a black woman, lesbian, has been in this position. That's the kind of stuff they're interested in, which is neo-Marxist thought, that is to divide everybody up, make everybody think about skin color, race, gender, orientation, and that put those people in because, okay, they have to have a chance. And so that's how the Democrats think. It is shallow. It is Marxist. It is no substance to it. They don't care about position. They said, well, let a little woman do it. I don't care if she cackles all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway.
And so, that was that woman that used to come out and speak for Joe Biden, secretary.
Yes.
What was her?
Karine Jean-Pierre or something like that. Yeah.
It's crazy. So to convince the people that DEI is better than being qualified, they had to brainwash the people over the years, and now you can just tell them something dumb like that. We need a black woman because we've never had a black woman. Never mind that she's not qualified. Never mind that it's putting everybody's lives at risk in this country. As long as we got a black female, the people fall for that.
Right, that's correct.
That's amazing.
I heard one man say, well, he was a Democrat. He said, well, Kamala Harris, if she gets into a debate with Donald Trump, she's going to rip him up because she's been attorney general. She was a district attorney in San Francisco. She's been a senator. I thought, you don't understand the basics of what's happening. She was put up there because of her immorality, and she got there because of her skin color, apparently. It has nothing to do with qualifications. It has nothing to do with that. She can't even talk. She can't even answer questions.
Yeah. It was like she was passed on to the next grade without passing the test. You know,
Same thing going on in our school system right now. That's exactly how our school system operates. We have to pass them on because, okay, if you're going to flunk so many minorities, that means you're racist. If so many minorities are going to juvenile detention, that means you're racist. So we've got to even it out. We've got to stop that so they have restorative justice, which tells us that so many blacks are not going to go to juvenile detention because they're black.
Amazing.
Yep, that's what's happening.
And the people don't understand the destruction that is coming as a result of operating in this manner. They just don't seem to understand it.
Right. They don't, because we've been brainwashed, and there's mass brainwashing, just as it has been in China, just as it has been in North Korea, just as it has been in North Vietnam. The people are mass brainwashed by the control of information, and the free flow of information has been stifled. And that's exactly what the Barack Obamas want. They want the misinformation, the disinformation to be stopped at a national level. So that they want to control the amount of information that the people get. That's exactly what communism is. There's not been a totalitarian system, including the Roman Catholic Church, that has not controlled, which is a Roman Catholic Church itself, Jesse, is a government. It is a totalitarian, communistic style government, secular government joined with religion. And they have always controlled the free flow of information. So they burn the Bibles. They chain the Bibles to the church building. Today, they don't want people to read the Bible. The priests tell them that I'll be your Bible. And that's exactly how they operate. But that's exactly what communism does. They do not want people to know. So when Barack Obama says we're going to have a government controlling disinformation. And so Mark Zuckerberg the other day came out and said, the government, we had 18,000 visits with the federal government, Biden administration, to stop the flow of information regarding Biden's policies, COVID shots. This is totalitarian style government.
What was the purpose of Mark coming out and saying that now, knowing that he helped set up the country in that way? Is he going to stop doing it, or what? What is the reason for him doing that? I mean, talking about it, being honest about it at this time.
I think, in my opinion, that he's been smoked out by the investigations that are going on by the Jim Jordans of the world, the Republicans of the world. He's been smoked out. I don't know that he's going to change his thoughts. I don't know he's going to change his colors.
Right.
I don't believe that. I think it's going to take more than just a confession. It's going to take a conversion to understand the constitutional principles and freedom. But I don't know that that's what's going to happen.
What a mess. What are the possibilities, if you know, or you believe you know, what are the possibilities that Kamala Harris can be next president?
Well, I think it's fairly possible. So I know that people don't want to hear about the rigged election, but here's something interesting. The free flow of information guarantees that we have a free election. If you do not have the free flow of information, it is a rigged election. That's exactly what happened last time. The FBI came out and they stifled the information about Hunter Biden's laptop. They have never been held to account. They have been never held accountable for it. Mark Zuckerberg has not been held accountable for all these things. So they stopped the free flow of information, which allowed or enabled Joe Biden to get in office. If they're going to be able to do that at a federal level or at any level, that does not give me much confidence in a free election. So is that going to take place this time? I think they're still going to try to stop the free flow of information. They're going to lie. They're going to stop the information on social media. That's exactly the way they're going to do it.
I noticed that the liberal media is definitely on the side of the Democratic Party and not being fair and balanced at all. It's so apparent now you can't miss it. And so if she should become president, God forbid, so should we all just kind of plan to go with Elon Musk to outer space and live, or what? It's going to be over.
I've been telling people in the state of Texas, but there's not a big hearing for this, but I think we need to nullify the federal laws at a state level. And that is to say, all right, this is the law you're passing. We are saying no. Not only are we saying we're not going to do it, we're not going to sue the federal government in a federal court. We're saying, no, we're building the wall here, and everybody that is not a citizen, they're out of the state of Texas, and we'll take care of ourselves, and we are not sending our money to Washington, D.C., to send to California to prop them up because they're letting illegals in. We're going to do our own thing, and we're going to stop the federal government from doing the illegal, unconstitutional actions in the state of Texas. And I think it's time to nullify the law, say that is unconstitutional. We're not going to do it. We're not going along with it. We're not going to pay for it.
But the only way that's going to happen, Bill, is you're going to have to run and become Congress or senator of Texas or the mayor or the governor or something.
Well,
because I don't see anyone else so far in office who's strong enough to do that.
I don't either. I mean, I think you're right. I like Greg Abbott to a point, but Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, says, and Ken Paxton, and they're suing the federal government. Okay, Paxton has sued the federal government more than any other attorney general of a state. So what does that mean? Have we rolled back socialism and Marxism in the state of Texas? Are we still on track to have a totalitarian government in America? Yes, we are. This is not the solution. The solution is to say no. Just like we tell people, telling kids no drugs, say no. We're going to have to say no.
Just say no.
That's right. Just say no. We're not going to do it, and we're not going to send our money to D.C. either. We're going to keep our money in the state of Texas.
But I've noticed, unless you see something I don't see, that Texas is slowly becoming a blue state too.
Well, there you go. That's right. That's the result of us depending upon the federal court system to support our defense of constitutional laws, because some of them are upheld, some of them are not, and next thing you know, we're overrun. California is gone forever.
Yeah.
And this is how it's done.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Arizona's about to be gone too, even though it was that state at one time putting up buried gold water.
Yeah. What a mess. Where were you when you heard that the Great White Hope had been shot and that was an attempt to assassination upon him? And what were your thought when you first heard that?
Well, I was at a church gathering we were having at someone's home in Iowa Park, and we were there. We were about to have dinner and have what we call a prayer circle and pray for people.
Right.
Consequently, one of the women walked up and she was on her phone so much. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I mean, I was just, she said, "I'm just watching about the assassination attempt." I said, "What are you talking about?" But she said, they tried to assassinate Trump. I said, so everybody stopped.
Yeah. And
we were watching what happened. And we started praying for him right there at that prayer circle that night. Nice. So that's what happened. Yeah. That we were having a lot of prayers right there.
Amazing. Right. Were you surprised that someone tried that to take him out?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I felt like this was coming a long time. I mean, the Democrats have done everything except put a gun in someone's hand and ask them to go take a shot. I mean, that's their MO. That is, get rid of all these people. I mean, they stir up so much hatred against conservatives. And that's exactly how they do it. I mean, you go get in their face and you tell them they're not welcome here. That kind of talk all the time. And you kick them out and you get rid of them. And I mean, they stir it up.
There's some nasty people. And last but not least, what do you think about RFK Jr. and Tulsa? What's her name? Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard.
They have now supported Trump. Would that have a good impact?
I think so. I think that's good. I'm glad that that's happening. For one thing, I felt like, and I don't agree
let me hold that thought. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to finish that up and let you give out your information because I want the people to support you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jesse.
All right, hold on. 888-7753-773. Bill Lockwood is with us. Amazing. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back and wind up. Back in a moment.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, you know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man. I always look forward, and a whole lot of you out there, I hear from you all the time, to having Bill Lockwood on. It's so enlightening and so informative and right on the money. Bill Lockwood is here. Bill, finish the point about RFK and Tulsi, whatever her name is.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard supporting Trump, and then I want you to give out the information.
Well, first of all, it does make me sad that people like that, whom I respect, that they have ever been Democrats to begin with, because I think that they have not seen really what the Democratic Party has been about in the past. And I think, but I am going to say right up front, I am happy that they are individuals who have enough honesty, integrity, and backbone to see what is actually happening with the Democratic Party, going all the way to socialism and Marxism, and pulling out and saying that is not what we want to be about. Because the sad thing is, most Democrats are sold down the river and they have no principles. Yeah. Therefore, what they used to say sounds like Republicans. And now they're way over here, but the only reason they're there is because they have no solid principles on the Constitution and on God and truth and reality. And therefore, they just go all the way. So I absolutely respect RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard for having the integrity and the stamina mentally to say, you know what, I'm going to go. And RFK's family came out and said they disagree with him, but he said, you know what? He sees what's actually happening and he's pulling out. That was probably tough for him to do with his family and all of his context. So I absolutely am happy that it does so. I don't agree with all of his policies, but as he himself said, he said, my family grew up to debate and to debate ardently about the different issues. He says, and still love each other. I think, boy, that is exactly what we should be about. I appreciate that about him. Yeah. I'll say this, he had something about public health that he had about a 2-hour interview. I can't remember who it was with, maybe Joe Rogan or something, but my wife had me listen to it. I thought, that man is brilliant. Yeah. He is a brilliant attorney. And I thought everybody ought to listen to him because he became an expert on these issues about shots, vaccines. I thought, boy, he needs to be somewhere where he has influence. And I appreciate him on that. And same with Tulsi Gabbard. What a brilliant woman.
You know, I was telling my audience yesterday that when I was growing up, the Kennedy family was the backbone of the Democratic Party. Right. Everybody loved the Kennedys. Right. And it was, and even in the black community, they took Jesus Christ picture down from the shelf and put up Kennedy picture. Would it be
okay? Oh boy. I understand. I saw that kind of thing myself.
Yeah, when he became president, Kennedy was it. And until now, I have never heard anyone in the Kennedy family go against another Kennedy in public. It was
Right.
of all the rumors and things that happened along the way, you never heard it until now. And I never imagined that one day the Democratic Party would turn on the Kennedys or anyone in the Kennedy Party as they've done with RFK. It's just all a surprise to me. I never imagined that could happen in America.
You know, your governor out there several years ago, Arnold Schwarzenegger, actually married into the Kennedy family.
Yeah.
He was a Republican. But I will say this, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was always skeptical of him because he was a neocon.
Yeah.
Because they're not real conservatives. And I thought that was the case, especially because he married to Kennedy. But nevertheless, I do appreciate that. And John Kennedy, he was a globalist. He signed the Freedom from War Act, which basically says we're going to turn all of our armaments, all of our weaponry over to the United Nations for a global government. Many people don't know that, but that was the Democratic Party then too, even though they think, well, he was some conservative guy, but not really so all the way across the board.
What a mess. Tell the folks how they can get to your website, your church, and how they can help you. I want to encourage the people, y'all make a donation to Bill Lockwood.
Yeah.
You won't regret it. You see what he need help. We don't have many men out there. We don't have many men out there standing up for the truth. And so we need you out there, Bill.
Well, thank you, Jesse. Well, the where to donate would be at the American Liberty with Bill Lockwood website. It's not a website that I put materials on any longer, but it does have a donate button on there, American Liberty with Bill Lockwood. But I have a podcast, which is patrioticpulpit.com. That is on YouTube. It is on Amazon Music app. It's on Spotify app. That is Patriotic Pulpit, all one word, patrioticpulpit.com. And then, of course, Bible Studies with Bill Lockwood, which is my pulpit studies. I'm preaching through the book of Romans. I just had a sermon on Romans chapter 13 about the Christian's role with government and how it's time for preachers to get off the pew and start getting involved in what's going on in our government, because that's our responsibility. So anyway, but all of that's on Bible Studies with Bill Lockwood.
You make a good point. And real fast, but speaking of religion, I heard a report, I reported on it, that over in Iran, I believe it was Iran, that a lot of the Muslims are going away, turning away from Allah religion, and they're turning toward Christianity. But as a result of turning toward Christianity, they're being persecuted. They've been followed to their homes. They've been killed. They've been censored, all kinds of things. And I don't hear a lot of people talking about that over here.
People, because we have, in this country, we have whitewashed the entire Islamic teaching. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to hear about it. We just have it's the same thing regarding socialism. The mainstream media has covered for it, including George W. Bush. He just covered for it after 9/11. It's amazing, but that's what's happening. But that is Islam. If you convert, then you have a death sentence against you. And that's the truth. And that's the same reason they killed Jews, the same reason Muhammad said that. That's himself saying that. That's not only that is himself. That's Sharia law.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
One person want to say hello to you before you leave. You have time?
Sure. Who would that be?
Your friend and my friend Maze.
I love Maze.
From Ohio.
I need to go and meet her someday.
Nobody has ever seen her.
Oh. Well, I wonder if she's an AI.
Maze, good morning. You're on with Bill Lockwood.
Good morning, Jesse and Lockwood the Heathen.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, how are you doing?
She said Lockwood. She said Lockwood Heathen.
I thought she said that. I thought
that's not very friendly, Maze.
Well, you got this just like really. But I have a question for Lockwood.
Okay.
Do you love your country more than you do your party?
Certainly so.
Well, you always talk about the Constitution and all those things, and you don't talk about the way that the Constitution is supposed to be, and the people that's trying to run the country, and the ones that doing different things to the country, and how they want to change the country into the way that they want it, that it used to be, you don't come out with stuff like that. So if you love your country, why don't you have a conversation about your country and how you love it and what you're supposed to do in a civic way? If you took civics, give them a lesson on that.
Okay, well, I'll start here.
And do you love your Bible more than you do your spiritual God?
I do.
Well, you always talk about the chapters in the Bible.
But
I tell people those things in the Bible.
Maybe because of time, let him respond to the civic lesson first.
Okay.
Well, sure. Certainly, I love our country. That's why I want to go back to the Constitution. And we'll start with the Bill of Rights, and that is the First Amendment. And by the way, the Bill of Rights have two basic principles of them. Number one, it's a list of prohibitions against the federal government. The federal government cannot do this, cannot do that, and it includes freedom of speech and freedom of religion, and the federal government cannot. It's a list of prohibitions. Number two, the federal government is not to be the watchdog over these things. That's why, regarding whether it be the vaccine shots or whether it be information such as the Joe Biden and Barack Obama want to curtail the information flowing to you, Mays, I say absolutely not. The Constitution tells us the federal government stay out.
Well, can I answer you to you? You got a right, just got to act. So when you get just the same rights you got, then you can talk. Okay? So with that, you have a good time until the next time I hear your voice.
What does that mean? He got a right, but I have an act.
You got to act.
What's
they got to act? What they got to vote on every year. He has a right to vote. You don't. Until y'all stand the man to man. That's what I'm trying to say.
I do have a right to vote. I vote every year.
You have a Civil Rights Act. He don't.
What is he talking about, Bill?
He knows what I'm talking about. Since he always talk about, if he love his country more than he do his party, tell him to work on it.
What does he mean, Bill?
So you can get rid of the act for you and have the same rights he has.
She said I don't have a right to vote.
I said you don't have the same rights he got. That's not what I said. You got a right act that they have to vote on every 25 years.
Let Bill respond, May. Hold on.
I'm not even quite sure how to respond to that.
I
know you can't.
Yeah, I don't know what to say on that. What do you mean you don't have a right? I don't. Anyway.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Bill, I mean, May, what do you mean I don't have the right? I don't.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? If you can explain,
you got to act, Civil Rights Act, and he got a right, and you don't. So if he work on changing it, then he can say that God touched him and he did something great.
Do you vote? Do you vote, Mace?
Yes, I do.
And you have a right to vote.
But the Congress don't have to have a vote on it every 25 years. For Lockwood, they have to vote on it for us every 25 years, so we can
I think what Mays may be responding to, I guess at some point the blacks can vote, and so they pass.
No, they can take it. If they don't vote on it in 25 years, you don't have it anymore, so you can't even vote at all.
Oh, well,
the Voting Rights Act, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah. Bill, work on that for us, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Mays. Good to hear from you, Mays.
All right.
Bill, one last thing. RFK wife came out against him or disagreeing with him for supporting Trump too. Isn't that room for divorce?
Is that what?
A room, he can get rid of her now, right? He can divorce her for coming out of...
His wife?
Yeah.
I say that shows who's head of the family. That's good. I like that. Who's head of his family.
No, but she came out against him for supporting Trump.
Right. Well, he says,
I see what you're saying. He did, right.
Because most men would say, "Oh, okay, honey."
That's right. That is a good point, Bill. I didn't see it that way.
There's a man's man. All right.
Last time, the people can support you how?
So it's American Liberty with BillLockwood.com.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
Jesse.
And good to see you, buddy.
All right. Lord bless you. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you. Bill Lockwood for amazing. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. JESSE. Let me go to Ian, a first-time caller out of Wisconsin. Ian, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I just want to say thank you. You're a big influence in my life lately, the last couple months.
Right on.
And I've been watching, and I learned how to forgive my mom, and I did. And it's kind of a mess right now, but it's getting better because I have lived with her for the last 2 years. And I know that makes me, weak because I didn't see the opportunity that I had before I'd moved in with her. But
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Oh, yeah. Boo!
Yes, sir.
Boo!
Yes, sir.
But good, man. And when you say
Uh,
it's a mess now, what do you mean by that? Now that you have forgiven her.
Well, I forgave her probably 4 or 5 months ago, and I've lived with her since then.
Uh-huh.
And it's been better because all I do is just matter of fact talk to her. But there's so much there's so much anger in her that I have to really stay on course. Just watch my thoughts and let my ego sort of slip through there. And I'm going to see my dad today, and I think I should probably tell him that it's okay that he didn't protect me from her.
Yeah, forgive him.
Yeah, even though I don't think he feels like, I don't know. See, he's kind of like a feminist, and, he doesn't see that. I mean, he's still hooked on her after being divorced so many years.
Yeah.
And anyway.
And let me tell you this. Forgive your father, right? He didn't know how to deal with your mother. He loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with her. And, if you have to stay there with your mother a little longer, what I want to encourage you to do as of right now, I promise you, if you do what I'm about to tell you, you're going to be fine. Never, ever, ever argue with her again. Don't argue with her at all, no matter what she says to you. It doesn't matter what name she calls you or if she talks to you or not. Do not argue with her ever again, or anyone really. Don't argue with the evil spirits in your mind, and don't argue with evil spirits in others. You're going to be surprised what the truth is going to do for you. So don't argue with your mother at all. Let her be angry by herself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I do the silent prayer. I do it before work. I got to get up really early, so I still make time for that.
Right
and then before bed, I do it too. And but it's good because I just put an offer on a house, and I should be moving out soon.
Right
and
on.
So I sort of cleaned up my side of the street here, as far as between me and my mom. And work is getting better too because as I do that silent prayer, so many thoughts come through, and I just point at them, or I don't know if it's right, but I kind of like take them and put them in a box in my head, and just so they're there, just so they're somewhere, not floating in my head, but in a box or something.
Well, here's what I recommend. Don't you do anything with them. You just look at them. You see them, watch them, do nothing about it because those are evil spirits in your mind and emotions, right? Do nothing about it, and you will see that the Father, God inside of you, the truth, will come. Well, He's already with you now. He will take those thoughts which are evil, He will take them away from you, and they will no longer be a part of your thinking or your emotions, and you'll be free of them. So don't fight with them. Do nothing with them, but watch them.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. I listen to all the words you say, and I don't reject anything you say because it's changed my life for the better so much more than, my life's a lot better since I've discovered you. I don't know. I started by watching some John MacArthur videos, and then
you stay with it. You stay with it. I'm telling you, if you stay with it and stay present, practice staying present rather than lost in your head about the past or the future, your life will change for the good by itself.
Yeah, and other things in my life have got better, but I do have more some questions pop up, like with I like to stay fit, and I like cardio, so I like boxing.
Yeah.
And I did boxing for a little while, but I don't know. Anger is something that has driven me a lot in my life. And so since I'm sort of letting it go, I have to just use that perfect love that's trying to get through to me.
Yeah.
So and it's tough to get. I mean, it's not tough. I embrace it, and but my edge is different because it used to be driven by anger.
Right, I understand. And your question is what?
Well, my questions that I ask myself are those come from uncertainty. So, but I think I just need to be able to just be. You know, when you say get up and be.
Yeah, you're gonna be coming if you stay with this and you practice staying present. If you really, really stay with it, you're gonna become one of the best boxers on this side of heaven, because you box better when you're conscious of boxing rather than being lost in your head. You're going to be able to see things with your opponent or whatever that you don't see when you're angry. And so you're going to have natural energy and insight, and your boxing will get better now that you can see.
Right. Yeah. And when I heard you say that forgiveness is important, and I learned that it is, I actually had a real resentment against one of my coworkers, and I told him that I was sorry for hating him.
Yeah.
And he really blew up. He kind of followed me around. He hates me.
Well,
and I don't know.
He can't help it, and you don't know what.
Well.
And you're about to say, and I don't know.
And I don't know exactly where that puts me, except for I just have to be sturdy, I guess.
Yeah, do nothing about it. Don't argue with him anymore. Don't talk about it anymore. You apologize to him already for resenting him. You're saying that you were wrong for judging him, right? But don't argue with him, because right now the darkness in him, the evil spirits, darkness in him, hate the light in you. And so it's not him that's acting that way. It's the darkness in him that hate the light. So don't take it personal. Don't argue with him, and he'll go away.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is I want to not have any fear about anything.
Yeah, and you won't. Then don't argue.
Right. And the odd thing is that he sort of helped me understand Christianity based on through his interpretation of it, which is why I said about John MacArthur, because he helped me, stumble upon some of the wisdoms that he talks about on YouTube.
Are you black?
And no, I'm white.
Oh, he white. But don't be mad at the coworker that you have apologized to, and don't argue with them. You just be yourself. If you come around, he's feeling fine. If he's not fine, but don't you argue with him. I'm gonna have to run, but stay present. Practice staying present now, and you're gonna see. You haven't seen anything in. It can only get better, and it will get better. It'll be clear.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for taking my call. Thank you.
Absolutely, buddy. Amazing. I got to take a break. Hake is coming in with hate news, not the fake news, but the hate news. 2 more hours ago. I'll be back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. They have indicted Trump again. Endless, baseless attacks, right? And AT&T had another outage, I heard, according to CNN. And there was a hostage rescue and SpaceX launch delay, by the way. I'll probably tell you that in the next hour. It is hake news, not fake news. This is the end of hour one of the Jason the Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, August 28th, AD 2024. Happy Men's History Month, everybody. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back to your calls and super chats and some great stories. By the way, there is one line open. You can call in right now during hake news, not fake news. And you can get on hold to get on air with JLP. 1-888-775-3773. The 2024 Paralympic Games. You know those? Will begin today in Paris. In Paris, wow. With a ground opening ceremony on the center of the French capital of France, Paris. It marks the return of Boccia, Boccia, a supposed fan favorite event described as the fastest growing sport within the Paralympic movement. And the Paralympics is when the handicapped people play and compete. Nice. Trump indictment. Our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, will once again need to enter an official plea in court after special counsel prosecutors reworked their indictment against him in the federal election interference case. Give me a break. The Republican presidential nominee previously pleaded not guilty to the charges, which stem from his attempts to overturn the 2020 election after he lost to our second worst president, crooked Joe Biden, Obama Part 3, resulting in the January 6, 2021 mostly peaceful protest, part of which turned into a riot at the U.S. Capitol. At least they call it a riot. They don't call it an insurrection anymore. Phony commie nonsense network. Anyway, although Trump was charged with the same offenses as the original case, prosecutors have strategically narrowed the allegations and altered the language to try to comply with the so-called Supreme Court's latest ruling on presidential immunity. This is one of several cases Trump's facing while running again for president to try to save America. They're trying to destroy him and destroy the country too. There will be no trial before Election Day, though, just so you know. AT&T says that they resolved a software issue that caused an outage for some wireless customers yesterday, Tuesday. The issue temporarily disrupted the ability of a limited number of our customers, they wrote, to connect to our wireless network, so stated a spokesman. Details about the number of impacted customers and the length of the outage weren't immediately released, but the digital service tracking website Down Detector showed a surge in reported AT&T outages around 5 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday, yesterday, peaking around 7 p.m. Eastern Time. What a mess, huh? Can't trust your cell phones or your carriers. At the same time, several government entities issued warnings that the outage might be preventing AT&T wireless customers from calling even 911 in their area. I mean, 911's a joke anyway in your town. Am I right? Probably. And that hostage rescue, Israel's military said Tuesday they rescued a 52-year-old hostage held by Hamas since October 7th in a complex operation. That's a quote. In southern Gaza, Farhan al-Qadi, Qadi, a Bedouin Israeli citizen from Rahat, is in stable medical condition, an Israeli military spokesman said to CNN. He's the first Israeli hostage been reclaimed alive from inside Hamas's sprawling tunnel network underneath Gaza. Al-Qadi's family hailed the rescue as unbelievable, adding they had not expected him to come back alive. Wow. There are now 104 hostages being held in the October 7th attack. Before it was 109. They're whittling it down. We'll see. We wish them well. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
To stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm JLP Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. Manhood Hour is coming up in the next hour. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. The biblical question: do you want to be different? Do you want to be different? That is the biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. And if you're running around and you can't sit and watch the show, you know you can podcast it. You can podcast all of the shows, but you can listen to the show no matter where you are and what you're doing by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. 605-615-4131. Amazing. I want to go to the busy phones, and then I want to get to your super chats, and I have sound bites for you. I want to go to Lee out of New Jersey. Lee, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, I was just commenting on the previous caller. She was saying that we need a Voting Rights Act in order to vote, and that's why they sign it every 25 years or so, however it is. And I was commenting that there was a group, they're called the
What's the Voter Right Act?
That allows black people to vote in every state. We don't have a right in every state. We don't automatically have a right in every state to vote. Each state can set their own voting laws, which is the reason why
they can set them for the blacks.
Yes.
Nice.
Which is reason why after the 14th Amendment, many blacks were not allowed to vote because they would pass these obscure laws in order to do that, in order to accomplish that.
But there's no way that even if they did renew the so-called Voter Right Acts, there's no way the blacks are not going to be able not to vote nowadays. That just won't happen.
Well, the state can make their own rules.
I know, but they never going to make.
But just like they did it with abortion,
right? But they never.
They put it back onto the state. The exact same thing could happen. With voting rights.
No, that would never happen. I wish they.
Well, it happened before. So what is your precedent for this? It happened for 100 years.
Well, it's not going to happen anymore
it's
because
only been 50 that it hasn't. That they've changed it. But that was as a result of the federal government,
I know,
and not as a result of many state governments.
It's never going to happen anymore because they're too afraid of the blacks at this point. They have allowed the blacks to take over the country too much, and the whites are too afraid to even dream about not letting the blacks vote, as much as I'm sure they would love to because the blacks vote so poorly, but that's never going to happen. Even if they don't,
Well,
even if they don't so-called sign the Civil Rights Act in the end, I wish hopefully they don't sign that and be bothered with that anymore. But there's no way that they'll stop the whites from voting before they would stop the blacks.
That you don't have any evidence of that.
Yes, I do. They're afraid of
where's your evidence that has ever happened?
Because they are afraid of the blacks.
No, you have to give me some facts.
I'm giving you
the facts.
When has
that ever happened, or when has that ever been tried?
The facts are that the whites are afraid of the blacks, and they're letting them. That's not a lie.
That's not true. You don't have the evidence of that.
You don't see that the whites are afraid of the blacks.
No.
Then why would they? So hold on. Why would they put in a black female at the U.S. Supreme Court who can't even find her way out of a paper bag, and she's only there because she's DEI, she's a black female? Why would they even consider having a black female as president who could not find her way in and out of a paper bag if she had to? Why would they have a black males of our city and state when all they're doing is destroying them? It's because the whites are afraid to say no to these people.
Well, they put Clarence Thomas in. I don't hear anybody calling him a DEI, which he was.
Because he's smart. But I understand.
He wasn't smart. That was the whole thing with Clarence Thomas.
I understand that you think that he is a DEI.
Much more accomplished than Clarence Thomas ever was when he entered the Supreme Court.
Who was that?
But I have another issue for you.
Who was that?
I said Ketanji Brown Jackson was much more accomplished than Clarence Thomas ever was before she entered the Supreme Court.
No, she wasn't. No.
Yes, she was. But anyway, I got one more thing to tell you. I got one more thing to tell you.
You remember they asked her what was a woman? She doesn't even know what a woman is.
She said, I'm not a biologist.
So she doesn't know you got to be a biologist to know what a woman is?
She said, I'm not a biologist.
Do you have to be a biologist to know what a woman is? I'm asking you a question, Lee.
I don't know.
Lee.
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you have to be a biologist to know?
I'm going back to my original subject.
I'll put Lee on hold. So, Lee, you cannot go to your original subject until you ask me, are you saying that you have to be a biologist to know what a woman is? Are you saying that, Lee?
I'm saying I don't know.
You don't know what?
I don't know. I have my opinion what a woman is, but is it based on scientific facts? I don't know.
Are you black?
I'm an American of primarily African descent.
So are you black?
I'm an American of primarily African descent.
All right, thank you. Primary African descent, thank you. She doesn't know what a woman is. She doesn't even know if she's black. Amazing. Thank you, Lee. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Josh out of Georgia. Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Jesse. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, Josh, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I was calling to answer the biblical question.
Do you want to be different?
I don't know what I want because every time I think I know what I want, it turns out I didn't want it. And then when I think I don't know what I want, when I think I don't want something, it's also it turns out that I needed that. So I can't say yes or no. It's I don't know. Is the final answer.
You don't know if you want to be different?
I don't.
And the reason you don't know is what?
I'd say it's the ultimate principle in my life is that every time I've thought I've wanted to be something or thought I didn't want to be something, it turned out to be the opposite.
So, meaning that if you think that you want to be different, what will happen?
It's possible that I didn't want to be different.
Oh, okay.
And if I think So I would just leave it as that's the most accurate answer.
And so when you heard the biblical question of do you want to be different, your first thought is, I don't know if I want to be different?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That seemed like natural. Yeah, that's like it's something don't want you to say I don't know, you know. Something in me wants to either say a yes or a no. But
interesting.
Yeah, the honest answer is I don't know.
Okay. I appreciate that, Josh, and I will put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
All right.
Thank
Sounds
you,
good,
man. All right, buddy.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Nice. You know, Lee is black too. And, you know, like when that stupid black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court said she didn't know what a woman was, and I knew that they would put her on the court only because she was black, not because she had the intelligence to be there. And now Lee is saying that she doesn't know what a woman is because I'm just not surprised. And this is why white people, you got to get over the fear of, and you're losing your country to people who don't even know what a woman is. You're letting these people on the court who don't even know what a woman is. How are they going to run the highest court of the land? They can't make the right kind of decision. Lee doesn't even know what a woman is. And unless you tell, not all, but most of the blacks, what is, they're not going to know. And yet you let them run your country. And this thing about the Civil Rights Act for voting, for the black to vote, that ain't no way in the world they're going to tell black people they can't vote. They'll stop the white people from voting before they would the blacks because they're afraid of the blacks. Look at the country. They did the same thing in Mommy Africa. They turned Mommy Africa over to the blacks because the white people were afraid of the blacks. Look what happened. And the same thing is happening here. It's happening in Europe. It's happening in all the white countries. Ain't no way they're going to tell the black. Think about that. They let the blacks smash and grab their stuff. LARVELL, a first-time caller. There's a line open, 888-77 Jesse. LARVELL, first-time caller out of Michigan. LARVELL, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Is it LARVELL? LARVELL. Okay. I'll leave and just check and see if he's on mute or something, and I'll come back. NOLIN is out of Canada. NOLIN, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, no, are you on speakerphone? Hold on, NOLIN. I'll let me know when you're ready. I want to give you this before, and then I'll come back to NOLIN once he's ready. I've said over and over again that my country is not coming back. I have more proof. And I know some of you still don't believe it, especially if you're a veteran, you don't believe, some of you, that you've suffered like you have and for no reason at all. But unfortunately, it's true. My country's gone. You heard what Bill said. Now my country here in California is talking about giving money to illegal aliens to buy a house with no interest. Think about that. You, an American citizen, I, an American citizen, have to work hard and save up and look for a loan in order to get a house. Think about that. But for the illegal aliens, they could be criminals, drug dealers, not citizens of this country. They can now, if this goes through, can get free money to get a house. Fox is reporting the Democratic majority in the California state legislation is likely to pass a measure this week to make the Golden State the first in the country to make undocumented, meaning illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants eligible for up to $150,000 in state-supported home loan. $150,000, and you can't even come up with $20,000 to put down on a house. You got to work, wait, and work. Now you can cross into the borders over to our country illegally, and you can get up, if this passes, you can get up to $150,000 because you're an illegal alien. Think about, smoke on that one. California Governor Gavin Newsom has not said whether he would sign the bill into law if it clears the legislature before the August 31st deadline. $150,000 to illegal aliens. Smoke on that one. Here are more details on the home loan from Fox.
The social and economic benefits of homeownership should be accessible to everyone, regardless of immigration status.
So the program provides first-time buyers with a zero-interest loan up to 20% of the home's purchase price. So that's up to $150,000 cash up front for a down payment and closing costs. This year, this $255 million program sold out in 11 hours, requiring a lottery. 18,000 applied, 2,000 got loans. And when a home sells, the state is repaid with a small percentage of any appreciation. The bill is sponsored by a prominent Latino rights group with close ties to Vice President Harris.
Wow. Now do you believe me when I say my country is not coming back?
Hi, William.
Well,
$150,000 to illegal aliens to buy a house. Free money. Oh, who would have thought that your government would sit down, or however they came up with this idea? And they were expected to get away with it. And if it passes, they will get away with it. They'll get away with it because you're going to vote them right back in again. No consequences for giving away your money to illegal aliens, drug dealers, gang members, just plain old breaking the law to come here from S-hole countries. And they're getting money if this passes in California, and it's going to go to other states too. Illegal aliens and I'm gonna get up to $150,000 free money to buy a house. Your money. And I hear that, there are a lot of young people now who can't buy a house, American citizens. They're staying home at a later age in life because they can't afford to buy a house. Why don't you give them that money? Since you're going to give it away. The original purpose, is this from Fox? The original purpose of the bill, this is from Fox. The original purpose of the bill, and here's more information on the original purpose of the bill and current status of the bill. Watch this.
Hi, William.
Well, Martha, the bill just passed the state Senate. It now goes back to the Assembly, where Democrats have a supermajority, and aides tell me it is likely to pass. The bill makes illegal migrants eligible for $150,000 to buy a new home. Lawmakers created the program so citizens and legal residents could afford to live here. But last week, Democrats changed the law to say this: An applicant who meets requirements for the loan assistance program shall not be disqualified solely based on the applicant's immigration status. Well, this bill does have a lot of Democratic support. The question is, does Governor Newsom sign it? If it passes, smart money in Sacramento tells me he does.
Amazing. In the United States of America, not only are they not putting up the wall, completing the wall that the Great White Hope started, y'all come on over. Not only are we going to give you free phone, free hotels, 5 4-star hotels, free food, and if you don't like the food, we're about to get you a better food. Don't worry. Now we're giving you a house. $150,000. No charge, no interest rate, no nothing. Think about that while you're voting come November. And you people in California, y'all need to wake up to the way you vote. Why are you still voting in Democrats who are doing these type of things? And even worse. And yet you still vote them in. What type of thinking are you doing? Anyway, my country, bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. My country is not coming back. It's gone. I rest my case. NOLIN is the first-time caller. Oh, not a first-time caller, but out of Canada. NOLIN, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, NOLIN.
How are you doing today?
All is well. Thanks for calling.
Amazing. I'm glad to hear that. I just wanted some. Well, first of all, that housing stuff is unbelievable. I didn't even know about that until I'm watching your show right now. I didn't know about any of that. That's crazy to me.
It's insane. I mean, I don't even know how the people who are supposed to create the laws and enforce the laws, how did they come up with the idea, and they know they're going to get away with it, that we're going to give illegal aliens $150,000 tax dollars free to buy a house.
Zero interest.
Zero interest. Amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's not amazing.
It's mind-blowing.
Betas.
Well, sure. Thank you, Noel. I appreciate your call.
Hold up, Jesse. The real reason I called. My friend passed away. One of my closest buddies passed away a few days ago, and just a young teenager. And it's really hard. I'm not sure how to deal with it and how to go about it. And like, I'm trying to look on the bright side and everything, but everything seems kind of bleak. I'm just not really sure how I should deal with that. I was hoping for some insight.
How you should deal with what?
The death of my friend.
There's nothing you can do about it. He's dead. If you should shed some tears, let the tears come and let them go, and don't hold on to the memories, because the memories will destroy you, because they're not of God and they're not from you, and it'll make you think that you care more than you really care. There's nothing you can do. May his soul rest in peace.
Okay, yeah. That's fair. Thank you, Jesse. Also, I have one more question.
Don't be all into your head. Don't let the devil make you lay up and think about how, we were such good friends, and we were this, and we were that. And because it will cause you to grieve too long and unnecessarily, and grieving because it's evil will turn into depression.
Yeah, that would make sense, actually.
So just be glad you had a friend for a while. Now he's gone. And if tears come, let them pass, and then you move on with your life.
Okay, Jesse. I also have one more question for you.
Okay.
Let's say, hypothetically, one of my other close friends indulged in some, like, homosexual activities. How should I act any different towards my friend, or like?
Not at all. Don't judge him.
No. No judgment or nothing?
No judgment. If you want to hang around, fine. If you don't, but don't judge him because you know better than him. The judger is worse than the judgee. But you wish him well because it's not him. It's something else that's driving him. Just like something is driving you to do and to think and do the things that you don't want to think and do. Likewise, it's a spiritual problem with your friend as well.
Should I try to help him?
There's nothing help him how. You can't do anything about it. You can't even change your own life. Now, if he want to talk, if he come and talk to you about it, and you are working on your life and you know how to tell him this, how to overcome it, you can do that. But if he doesn't want the information, don't force it on him. Don't judge him. You just continue to work on your life to overcome your hell.
That's amazing, Jesse. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, buddy.
You have a great day, sir.
All
You're
right.
the best.
Because he's having the same spiritual issue that you and every person in the world is having. It's evil. Excuse me. It's evil that was passed down to him from his mother. It's a feminine spirit. And he might not realize it at this point. So don't judge him. And maybe, who knows, maybe one day you can show him how to, you can point the way to him to overcome it. All right?
I'll try to work there. I'll try to work to that point.
All right, buddy.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you. 888-7753-773. One line is open there. Let me go to first time caller LaBelle out of Michigan. LaBelle, let's try it again.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here, Jesse.
I hear you now.
Now, Jesse, I've been following your show, man. Probably say I really found you just scrolling through YouTube, and I'm like, and I had seen the title that you made, and it was about why is black people so hateful. And I listened to what you said, and it blew my mind because I never heard a black man speak so honestly about people. Matter of fact, Jesse, I don't even consider us black. You know, we're just American. You know,
that's right.
You know,
absolutely,
we're not evil. Like if you look in the American dictionary, words are powerful, and we're not evil. We're not deranged. We're not boogeymen. You know, we're not none of that. So first off, we need to stop calling ourselves black. We're not evil. We're not none of that. I mean, but we can be. We can be. You know, when people out there saying, I'm black.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
But Jesse, I just want to tell you, thank you, man, for putting that out there. And you do it so, and a lot of people say, like, I listened to a call yesterday, and the guy was like, Jesse, you know, why are you always putting down black people? Man, the truth is the truth, you know?
You're absolutely right. I'm glad you're out there, Lavelle, because now they're going to start hearing the truth from you, and you never know. One person will hear what you have to say, and that person will wake up. And that's the one that God is trying to bring back to him because that person want to return to the Father. So I'm glad you're out there, man.
Yes. And Jesse, I have another question for you, man. Like how is things with you? Like, but you speaking this truth to people, and Jesse, you're not wrong. You don't use words. You use a lot of very soft language when you talk with people, like explaining on why these certain demographics of people have issues. You speak very soft to these people. You speak very articulate. You try to give them the best, vivid understanding that you can give them, and they still get angry at you. And I'm like, if they just take time out to listen to Jesse, maybe that picture that he's painting them will kind of, it will kind of enter their minds. But they're so eager to argue with you and eager to say, you're wrong. You know, you hate your own people. I'm like, if Jesse hated his own people, he wouldn't dare take time to talk to us.
That's for sure. What it is that they're not ready for the truth. Most people don't want the truth. They love their misery. They love their hell. And for those who are not ready, you should just leave them in their hell and don't try to convince them of the truth at all. Let them suffer until they're ready to come out. They're just not ready. and the darkness hate the light. So they're just not, they love their darkness. That's what it is.
Yes, it is. You know what, Jesse? It was one thing that you said in that live. You said, I want to ask any, person in that considers themselves black, when you walk out of your house, who is your primary enemy?
Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Let me take a quick break. Hold on, LaBelle. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him, I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. They may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. TheHakeReport.com. And James Hake is on fire. He's one white guy that's not afraid. And after the Hake, H-A-K-E report, Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV, he black. At 11 a.m. And he ain't skating for nothing at night. Skating for Jesus. Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. and at 4 p.m. The American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at one time was at 12, so I keep forgetting. I'm black. But the American Anchor Baby energy given to him, a genius, at 4 p.m. And last but not least for now, we have a brand new episode of the Fallen State.tv. I had a very interesting discussion with, hold on. I got to find her name. Oh, I don't have it here. Let me see. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, I don't have it, huh? In my package. I don't have it? I don't have it. Is it in the package? Oh, okay. I don't have it. I'll have to tell you later, folks. Sorry about that. I thought it was in my packet. Well, we have a brand new episode of The Fallen State. Let me go quickly back to first-time caller LaBelle. And LaBelle wanted to make the point that, LaBelle, you were about to say, when you walk out of your house, who is your enemy?
Yes, Jesse, you asked. You asked. You just talk, you just ask questions.
Uh-huh.
And you said, when you people in that community, when you walk out of your house, who is your enemy?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what, Jesse? Listen, man, sometimes we need people to challenge our brain.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're going to get sufficient answers.
Absolutely.
So, Jesse, when you asked that question, I went outside of my house. Jesse, I live around people who look just like me, brown people.
Yeah.
And, Jesse, when I went out of my house, I was smiling. And everybody around me were mean mugging me, and it was just, I was like, wow, Jesse was right. Like, ain't no white people, and then I go to Target, to buy some stuff, and everybody in Target is like, hi, how are you doing?
Yeah.
May we help you?
Yeah.
But in my neighborhood, Jesse, I was fooled. They looked like they were attacking me. And I was like, wow, Jesse just asked us, who are your real enemies? And you know what, Jesse, I'm in college, and a professor told me this one time. He said, you know what, man, the thing with, a lot of, well, he said African Americans. He said what African Americans don't know is that, you know, they don't think about themselves.
Yeah.
They think more about white people than they think about themselves.
Absolutely.
And he said, why don't black people think about their aunties, if they love their grandmother so much? And he was a black guy, but he was light skinned. So that doesn't make him less black, not at all, just because he's light skinned. A lot of people like to say that light skinned people, no, it doesn't. And you know, he's a professor, and he said that to us, and he asked us, like, why do we care so much about what white people think instead of what we know to think?
Yep. Amazing. Well, Lavelle, I'm glad that you're out there, man, and keep paying attention. Just watch, and you're going to see amazing things happen in your life, but you're also going to understand this battle between good and evil, and it has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with male or female. So keep your eyes on things. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, thank you, Jesse. Thank you, man. I'll definitely be tuning in all the time. Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Amazing. 888-77-JESSE. Let me go to Christine. There's one line open. Christine, a first-time caller out of Mexico. Christina, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey there. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Just three things. I wanted to let you know that it's good to see that your eye is doing so well now.
Thank you. It was a mess.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they had to take the eyeball out and stitch it up and then put it back in and then stitch it back up and so now the stitches are falling out, I guess, wherever they're going. And I can still feel the stitches a little bit, but not that much.
Oh, well, it looks amazing.
It's amazing.
Like nothing was ever done.
Thank you.
And then I wanted to wish you and all the 5 gentlemen in your studio a happy Men's History Month.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. From everybody here saying they thank you for that. Amazing.
Yeah. We got one more week to remind how much we need to appreciate the men in our world.
Absolutely. If ever we needed Men's History Month, we need it now.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Definitely. And then the reason I called was I wanted to answer your biblical question.
Do you want to be different?
And my answer is yes, I definitely want to be different.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just saying because when you're different, I'm less likely to be manipulated. I'm less likely to be controlled. And even though I'll most likely be hated and probably even attacked for being different, at least I'll be living my life on my terms instead of someone else's.
Amazing. I want to respond so badly. I don't know what to do with myself right now, but I got to hold my peace and let the Lord fight my battle. I really appreciate you responding to that, Christina, and I will put my... What do you think about... I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. What do you think about that question?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Because it makes people think, like, within themselves. If you say, like... If you answer ask a general question, like, well, how is this or how's that? People are so used to looking outside of themselves for answers. But when you say, what do you want to do? They have to be forced to look within.
Absolutely. And that's why I put the biblical question out there, because I want to encourage those who want to really find the truth. I want to encourage them to look within, to get to know thyself if they really want to be free.
Yeah, and it's probably a scary question for a lot of people because when you're different, it's kind of a scary thing to want to be different because then you have to realize, well, if I'm not like everyone else, will I be accepted by everyone else?
Also, it means that you have to stand alone. And most people, men and women, are afraid to stand alone. They're cowards, and so they need to have a group.
Yeah, because we're not raised being taught about courage anymore.
Yeah. That's amazing. You're absolutely right. That is so unfortunate. I don't know what to do with it. But you're right about that.
Yeah, and it comes from the parents. If you have parents that are fearful, they'll instill that mindset in their children too.
Absolutely. Amazing. Well, Christina, thank you for responding to the biblical question. and I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day, Jesse.
You too. Amazing. Happy Man History Month, men. 888-7753-773. Super chat. Super.
So Tyrios bought a coffee, replying to the biblical question.
Do you want to be different?
I am different, says Soterio. I am my own world, just like everybody else is. I've come to realize that I wish I could just be instead of being different. Constantly wishing I could let go of my ego, but it hasn't worked yet. I wish God allows me to one day. Either way, I'm not giving up trying and let go of this. Makes sense. Thanks, Jesse and crew.
Amazing. Thank you for responding. I want to say something about what you just said, but I can't. But I really want to. But I can't. But I really want to. It's an amazing response. Thank you, and I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday, and thanks for your support.
Harmony gave a Cash App.
Harmony Grits.
And says, what does the Great White Hope have to say today?
Let me check. Good question.
He's putting on something. He's turned away from the camera, guys.
I have to check and see what the Great White Hope has to say today. I got to be ready for it.
He's wearing this American flag sunglasses.
For every one new regulation, 2 old regulations must be eliminated.
Amazing. Fight. Right. Thank you. Amazing.
Very nice. Thank you, Harmony. Look what you did.
Yeah.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Biblical question.
Do you want to be different?
No. And people that I know are always determined to be different, are always altering their ego just to stand out. What a mess.
Amazing. Another amazing response.
That's true.
Thank you. So I've been hearing some amazing response out on the streets and everywhere about this question. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
Matthew, I used to think I have free will. When I stopped using depression medication, I started eating candy every day. I tried to force myself to stop, couldn't do it. I felt like I was watching a movie and something else was controlling me. Now I don't know anything anymore, but I stopped eating candy. Amazing.
Amazing. Nice. The one thing for sure, and without a doubt, there's no such thing as a free will. Human beings do not, ain't not, cannot, will not, y'all ain't not, they ain't not. You do not have a free will. You can bank on that one. You can this one thought you can let go of and forget about it. You do not have a free will. I know your ego, your pride, your evil nature wants you to believe that you have a free will, but you ain't got no free will. And you can bank on that. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate it.
Gregatron bought our coffee. Jesse, I agree with Ronnie on crying. When you expire, I'm going to boo-hoo.
Oh, my God.
I listen to your show every day. You have no clue how much it means to me. With that said, when Trump gets back in, I think you should retire the next day and live peacefully. Job well done. Or work for the Great White Hope himself. Either way, you'll be missed. Sorry, Hake. Sorry. This wasn't pithy.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be around for a while, I think. But I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Amazing. Thank you.
Richard bought our coffee. Hey, Jesse and crew. I thank you all for the show. I'm learning so much about myself. It's truly amazing. I would like to ask. How does this statement, all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything except practical thoughts, make sense? All thoughts surely means all thoughts, not all thoughts except practical ones. Wouldn't a more accurate statement be some thoughts are lies all the time and some thoughts are practical? A statement that states all except really means some. Just curious as to the meaning of the statement. Keep up the amazing work, everyone. Tan strong arm emoji.
Thank you. Yeah, you're all very strong.
Thank you.
Nice.
That sounds like it might have been sarcastic, though. Are you referring to my arm or Richard's arm?
Who you did it.
Whatever.
All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything except practical thoughts. You want to build a house, you want to live in a house, you want gas in your car, you want food on your table. Those are practical thoughts. You got to go to work. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
MB, 3 coffees. If you are married and find out you can't have children, what about adoption? If you adopt children, will the kids ever see you as their father, or will they always be longing for their biological father?
Good question. Adoption is fine. I'm not against it. But yes, those children will always long for their real father. Even if you're the nicest given adoptive parents that they can possibly have, it's the soul, it's the spirit that longs for the father. It's not their fault. It's not them making themselves feel that way. But all boys and girls long for their father. That's what's missing. That's that you can have everything in the world, all the riches and the silver and gold, but you still it's something that's still missing. And that's what that is, the longing for the Father. That's why salvation is about a return to the Father. Amazing. Nice question. Thank you.
Deplorable Dave from Rosamond, California, bought 2 coffees. Jesse, has anyone in the past ever answered one of your biblical questions 100% correctly and you did not have to respond on Sunday? If so, what was the question asked? What the? Quadruple exclamation mark.
I don't know. I don't remember. I've been doing this for so long now. Do you remember? Fake?
No. I mean, some people may have answered it.
Yeah.
But,
I don't.
You still give your 2 cents in on Sunday.
Right. I don't remember, but it's an interesting question. Thank you, and I appreciate your support.
Ty the Warfare on X says, hey, Jesse, I can't listen to the show because of work, but I do podcast the show.
Nice. Thank you.
JCLeePeterson.com/show. Would like to know your thoughts on both parties agreeing to marry for Social Security, meaning the man and the woman marry for Social Security or just marrying for financial benefits. They aren't in a relationship, just really good friends. Thanks. Smiley face.
And they want to get married for financial reasons? That's dumb. What? That's beta. No, marriage is hard enough as it is. I wouldn't recommend that. Earn your way, save your money, and blah, blah, blah. Interesting. I didn't know people were doing that. Thank you, though. No, I wouldn't recommend it.
Derek bought a coffee. Jesse, if Joe Biden's economy is strong, then why is Kamala campaigning on fixing the economy? She seems to be just repeating Trump's policies as he knowing some are too dumb to notice. As her own knowing some are too dumb to notice. Sorry, I can't. Some typos in here. No tax on tips, build the wall. Now the economy needs some fixing. Unbelievable. Well, she wants to build a wall, too. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. All of a sudden, she put a wall. But well, I don't know if she's saying that or not, but her little employees are saying that. Or the liberal media. I thought that Natasha Brown woman, black female they put on the Supreme Court,
Ketanji.
I thought she was the dumbest one that they can hire so far. A DEI person. Camilla, she won that award already. This woman, she knows that the people know she's not for the wall. She's not for any of the things that she's pretending. But she doesn't care because her only thing is she wanted power and control. And she knows that the Democratic voters are so dumb that they're going to vote for her anyway. So she doesn't have to tell them the truth. She doesn't have to do media press conferences and things like that, because all she has to say, we're going to have abortion. Y'all can have as many abortions as you want. And the dumb female is going to vote for her anyway. So that's why. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. It's me, Xenia, with a Rumble rant. Good morning, JLP and crew. Denial is not just a river in Egypt. It's apparently in a lot of liberal voters' heads.
That's for sure. I'm being told that her DNC speech, Harris pledged to bring back the border security bill killed in the Senate last year, which pledged hundreds of millions of dollars to expand the border wall and sign it into law if elected. But I think there was something wrong with that bill. It wasn't what we think that it is, or thought it was, or whatever. Thank you.
Bert, 3 coffees. Hey, Jesse, do you have to watch and overcome the devil in you before you can get to know yourself? The silent prayer is tricky, LOL. Love your show, thanks.
As a matter of fact, that's what you start to see, the hell in you, in your mind and emotions. And when you start to see that, and it's the light that allows you to see that, something else is driving you, you're possessed, all human beings are possessed, and that this thing is driving you in your intellect and in your emotions, and you start to overcome that. The spirits of evil. Amazing. Thank you.
Terry bought a coffee. Biblical question.
Do you want to be different?
I don't want to be different. I just am. Coffee emoji. Cool sunglasses smiley.
Amazing. Thank you.
Someone says, hello, sir. For the weekly assignment to look at the evil on the inside of me.
For 1 week only. What was the assignment? I want to be clear.
It is...
I think I have it written down in my pocket.
Let the only evil you think about be your own.
Yeah. For 1 week. The only evil you think about, right, is your own. For 1 week, 1 week assignment. Think about your own evil.
And someone asks, how can I do that if it's not me?
Do it. Amazing. Thank you.
Someone says, if you asked someone even 5 years ago, what is a woman? They would have looked at you like you had 2 heads.
I know.
Same goes for when people ask why they like Kamala. They're brainwashed and don't know it or refuse.
Yeah.
I know why I'm voting for the Great White Hope, but I'll keep it pithy.
Amazing. Thank you. Let me take a break right there.
Thank you, guys.
We'll finish up on that. I want to take at least a few calls before I go to the break here. Sergio is out of Los Angeles. Sergio, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Jess? How you doing, brother?
All is well.
Hey, so I had a question. Well, I want to take your opinion on this because I've been doing the looking at my thoughts, letting them go.
Yes.
And I don't relate to them anymore. It's real easy now. It seems like they just stop. Like they don't come around no more as much or anything. So I try to tell my wife this, and it's funny because it's like clockwork. I hear a lot of your other callers say like, oh, well, she's threatening and she's doing this now and all this other stuff. So my wife told me like there's a divide between us, right? And then I told her like this is just another thought. It's false. There's no divide between us.
Hold on, Sergio. Hold on, buddy. Mm-hmm. When I come back, I want you to go right to your question. I want to try to get in as many callers as possible. I got to take a quick break. Hate news right now, not the fake news. And when I come back, straight to the callers. 888-77-JESSE. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
Is SpaceX up for the task? We know that Boeing's Starliner was not, but are they going to be able to go into those radiation belts? I don't know. They're having delays because of the weather. And there's also climate propaganda, climate pollution propaganda. What a mess. And the Kels brothers are going to be my competitors. Travis Kels and his brother Jason. What a mess. They're going to be my competitors on Amazon's podcast platform. Anyway, this is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday. Manhood Hour is coming right up in the last hour, the third hour of the show. Every Wednesday, Manhood Hour. JLP will be right back to your calls, guys, and we will get to the rest of the Super Chats as well and some great stories. But first, Hake News, not fake news. During Hake News, you can call in. There is one line open. 1-888-775-3773, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 8 to 11 Central, 9 to noon Eastern. Figure it out. If you're outside of those time zones, you can figure it out. And it's free even via Skype from overseas. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports SpaceX is having a launch delay. They've once again delayed their launch of their daring excursion into Earth's radiation belts. The mission, dubbed Polaris Dawn, was set to take off as soon as 3:38 a.m. today, but the company opted to delay takeoff because of unfavorable weather conditions for the crew's return to Earth. The mission aims to carry a 4-person crew of civilians, to record-setting heights for a regular orbit around Earth, and to conduct the first commercial spacewalk. That's when they go outside of the spaceship in their little suits. And it's SpaceX suits, not those fat NASA suits. The latest delay comes after a planned Tuesday morning launch attempt from NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. That was scrubbed because of issues with ground equipment at the launch pad. I think helium or something, helium leak maybe. The crew of civilians has been in quarantine awaiting their launch. New date, not yet set. What a mess. But it's not as big of a mess as those astronauts who are stuck up in space. SpaceX is going to have to rescue them. Hopefully SpaceX can do it because Boeing can't. Anyway, climate pollution, so-called Commie Nonsense Network says, Republican officials in 24 states asked the so-called Supreme Court Tuesday to halt a Biden administration effort to reduce emissions, so-called, of the planet-warming gas methane. Methane, that's that stinky stuff. Smells like poop, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. Led by Oklahoma, the states are asking the high court to pause the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, so-called, misnomer, that went into effect earlier this year, and the agency estimates will slash methane emissions from oil and gas operations by nearly 80% through 2038, so they claim. The latest filing is part of a broader campaign by the groups battling evil Biden administration, environmental regulations, a push that has resonated with the court's supposedly conservative majority in recent years. The Supreme Court is likely to take several weeks at least to consider that request. The Kels brothers. It's Kels, not Kelsey. But you can call him Kelsey. That's what the dad turned all beta and acquiesced to that pronunciation. Brothers and NFL stars Jason and Travis Kels signed a lucrative deal with Amazon's podcast studio Wonder-E. The announcement is just the latest in a line of blockbuster podcasting deals. But stay on Punchy TV and catch Hake after the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, and then Joel Friday TV after the Hake Report. And then American Anchor Baby, 4 p.m., Monday through Friday. Very nice. There was a guy who died, Leonard Riggio, 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 man who built Barnes & Noble into a powerful bookseller. He died Tuesday following a valiant battle with Alzheimer's disease at the tender age of 83. But he's the reason why Barnes & Nobles are everywhere. Good job, and rest in peace. I'm James Ake.
Got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm JLP Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the third hour. What the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. And my biblical question, do you want to be different? Do you want to be different? Isn't that an amazing question? Do you want to be different? And if you're running around doing whatever it is you're doing, if you're illegal aliens and you're in line to get $150,000 free money to get yourself a free house, you still can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. A Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. It's Wednesday. It's the last hour of the show on Wednesday. And happy Man History Month. And every last hour of the show on Wednesday is Fight. Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta male. A man is a male who turns to man.
Alpha male.
Live right, be right, and lead the way.
What was it like?
You know, men were men settling a new frontier.
He's the guy who became a national sensation as the world's chillest man.
Sometimes you just have to stand up to punks like that.
Tony Tovar just nonchalantly sat there, lighting up a cigarette as his favorite neighborhood bar was robbed.
When men were men.
Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would run it, but I would like to see somebody as the president who could do the job.
They used to be men.
Grandpa, Tell me about the good old days. Tell me about the good old days. They're gone. And if you talk about the good old days, they call you a hater. Amazing. Let me go to back to Sergio. And Sergio was, I'm sorry? Oh, Sergio gone. Serge, call back. All right. Let me go. Is it DAZZLYN, a first-time caller out of New York? DAZZLYN, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling.
Hi.
Hi.
So I have a question on which parent I should live with because, like recently, like a year ago, I moved in with my father because I didn't want to live with my mom, but like now I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 13.
You're 13? And now you don't know what?
Like, I don't know if I still want to live. I don't know which parent I want to live with.
And why don't you know?
Because, like, me and my father, like, our relationship, like, we don't talk to each other. We don't, like, and then when he does talk to me, it's like, it's just bad. Or, like, when he talks about me, he just complains about me. He never says anything. Like, he's just always so negative.
Oh.
And then, but, like, with my mom, like, the house is just so, like, I don't want to be there because, like, the house is dirty. And, like, also, she remarried, so it's like.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to be there. Did your father remarry?
No.
Oh, good. And so your question is what?
Which one should I live?
Which one you want to live with?
I don't know.
Here's what I recommend you do, and let me know how it goes, all right? I want you to do this. Next time you talk to your father, I want you to ask him, why are you so negative to me? You don't listen to me. Why? I need you to be patient with me and show me a father's love. I want you to say that to him and let him respond. Be quiet and let him respond. Let me know how that goes.
And also, like, another thing with my father, like, he doesn't, like, I don't know how to word it. Like, he doesn't really, like, fund me, if that makes sense. Like, I ask him what's for dinner, and he says I have to figure it out. But he doesn't even give me any money to figure it out. So if I want to get food, I have to find a way myself. And he didn't get me any back-to-school clothes. He thinks he doesn't have to do that because he's getting my hair done or something. Or he just tells me to ask my mother.
Really? And does he give your mother money for you?
No.
Oh. And so have you talked to your father about the way you're feeling?
I've tried, but he's very closed-minded.
And so what have you said to him so far?
I told him about, like, how he's so negative and how, like, it just feels like we're roommates. And he says, like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do better, but then he just does the same thing again.
Oh, okay. And you're 13 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here, the one thing I do want to encourage you, first of all, don't be angry at him or anyone, your parents or anyone, all right? Don't be angry. Are you already angry?
No.
Oh, good. Don't be angry. And then I want you to sit your father down and let him know that you don't know how to handle the way he's treating you, and that if it doesn't change, you may have to go live with your mother. Let him know I want to stay here with you, but because you're not being patient with me, you're not leading me, you're not guiding me in the right way, I don't know I don't know how to deal with you. And see what he has to say, but I want you to be honest with him about how you're feeling about the way he's treating you. You got to learn to speak up for yourself without being angry.
Okay. I also have one last question, but like it's a little off topic.
Okay.
So, like, it feels like everywhere I go, like people just say that I have a bad attitude when I'm not like doing anything.
And when you say you're just standing there or sitting there, you're not saying anything or doing anything?
Even like, yeah, it doesn't matter what I do, like, or like, even like if I'm just trying to stand up for myself, like, then they say that I have a bad attitude and that I'm being nasty and that I'm not humble or something like that.
Oh, give me an example of you standing up for yourself.
Like my dad, he was making fun of my grades or whatever, because like that's something that like it means a lot to me. And because I usually have A's, and then I got a B on my report card, and he was making fun of me to his friends, and then I started crying, and then he started talking about how I'm overly sensitive and da-da-da-da. So then I said I'm not overly sensitive because that wasn't a funny joke, and then he was saying that I was being disrespectful and that I should have stayed in my place.
Really? Where's your father now?
I think he's in the living room.
Does he know you're talking to me?
No.
How would he feel if I speak to him right now?
I don't know.
You think he'll be upset?
I'm not sure.
Because I'd like to speak to him and see can I help you deal with him. Is that possible?
I can ask.
Ask. Are you afraid of his reaction if I talk to him?
A little bit.
Oh, okay. So what do you suggest? Let's talk to him or not?
I can ask, but
you're gonna
probably not.
So now?
Yeah, as of right now.
You say probably not right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I want. I want you to stop being angry, all right? Are you able to stop being... Don't be mad at him, at anyone, because it's the anger that's going to make you overreact to situations. And even when they're bad or so-called good, you're going to find yourself overreact. So I really want you to drop the anger. Don't be angry. People cannot help themselves. Your father is doing the best he could. He does not... His father, his mother were not good example for him. So he doesn't know how to be the right kind of a father right now. So don't be mad at him about it. And likewise with your mother, don't be mad at her either. She lost. That's why she got another husband already or boyfriend or whatever. But don't be mad at them so you don't become like them. I do want you to speak up, but don't be angry. Can you work on that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to start doing my silent prayer so God can bring you out of your thoughts and emotions. Are you familiar with my silent prayer?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to start doing that. Have you tried it yet?
No.
Okay. I want you to start doing that so you can forgive your parents. And that way you don't become like them. They cannot help it. They're doing the best they can do. All right?
All right.
And then, does your father listen to my radio show?
No.
Oh, okay. And then I want you to have a really good talk with him and let him know how you're really feeling. And say, you know what? You're supposed to be my father. You're supposed to be leading me in the right way. And I feel that you're not with me. You're not guiding me. You're not showing me. You're making fun of my grades when grades are not that important anyway. And I need you to lead me. Otherwise, I may have to go back to my mother's house, and I don't want to do that. I want you to be honest with him about that.
Okay.
And will you let me know how it goes?
Yeah.
So here's what I want you to do, and I'm repeating myself. During the silent prayer, I want you to drop the anger. Don't be mad at anyone about anything. People cannot help themselves, all right?
All right.
But then I want you to be honest. I want you to speak up for yourself.
Okay.
So I want you to be honest with your father and all people, but be honest with your father about the way you're feeling and that you need him to be your father and to lead you and to guide you for now. And he's not doing that, all right? You feel, and let him know I feel like you don't love me. You're not guiding me. And money is not love. You need him to guide you with patience and honesty and all that, all right?
Okay.
How did you find my show?
My mom.
Oh, okay. Nice. So drop the anger so you don't become like your parents. They're angry and they can't see. They cannot help themselves. That's why they're treating you the way they are treating you. This is all they have to give. They don't have the real love that you need. But I want to encourage you to and if he get mad, don't you get mad back. If he's irritated, don't become irritated, but tell him how you're feeling and what you need from him.
Okay.
Will you let me know how that goes?
Yeah.
All right. I want you to learn to speak up because that's where your freedom is. If you don't learn to speak up, not only are you going to be mad at your parents and others for the way they treat you, you're going to be mad at yourself that you didn't speak up. Just don't be angry, but speak up.
Okay.
Let me know how it goes, all right? Any other question?
No.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay.
Call me back. What's your name?
DAZZLYN.
DAZZLYN. Nice name.
Thank you.
All right. So let your father know exactly how you feeling and what you need from him, all right?
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Amazing. See how your kids need your fathers to be patient, to not make fun at them, but to guide them with perfect love. Amazing. Let me go to a first-time caller. Brian out of Nashville, Tennessee. Brian, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
All is well, Brian. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm from a little town 90 minutes outside of Alabama. I think you said you're from there.
Sweet home Alabama.
How in the world you stayed out there? Are you out west? How in the world you stay out there? I don't know how you do it.
The Lord.
But anyway, Lord have mercy. I visited out there before. I couldn't handle it.
It's a mess.
Anyway, hey, listen to this. I started dating this girl about a year ago, and everything was cool. She's a big girl now. She got broad shoulders. That's setting us up for this next part. And everything was cool. And in the past, 3 or 4 months, when we get in arguments, she started thinking she's gonna ball her fist up on me, rear her back, and jack me. Well, I can't hit her back, and I can't call the police on her.
Why
and
not?
We live together. I ain't calling the police on her.
Why
Lord
not?
have mercy. She ain't hitting me that hard, but she's gotten to the. Once I've started hitting you, I can't stop.
Right, because it's going to only get worse, and eventually you will have to hit back, and she's going to call the police on you, and your life will be ruined. Well, I don't understand. Why won't you call the police on her?
Well, I don't want to get all that started. and she's a great person. The thing about this, she's a
There's
good
nothing
person.
great about her.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm just insecure. I don't know, but she, once she started this mess, she can't stop. I can't stop now. You push me, I'm gonna knock it. So I'm trying to figure out how to exit the relationship, but I don't want to either because 99% of the time it's okay. It's okay until she starts this hitting thing, and we live in the same spot and all that stuff. So I'd have to, but. I mean, I'm not a beta, but I'm not a woman beater. You know what I'm saying? It's just complicated. But
I'm
always
old are
entertained by. How old am I?
Yeah.
48.
Wow. And how old is she?
38. And I've been through a lot. She just, I don't know.
And so your question for me is what?
Just, what would you do? Just, I mean, if you had nowhere else to go right now, I found we moved in, rushed the relationship.
Is it your place or hers?
Both, mine, hers. We both share an apartment here in Nashville.
So why don't you just move out and start working on yourself? Because this relationship is not meant to be.
That's true.
So why don't you just move out?
I guess I'm going to have to.
No, I'm asking why don't you? Why haven't you?
Financial.
You can't afford it?
No, right now.
You don't have a job?
But we split everything right down the middle.
But so you cannot afford to get your own place?
No, not after this. No.
But why not? And if you move out, you get a smaller place, a place that doesn't cost as much. So are you enjoying the thrill of arguing with her and feeling good and arguing and feeling good? Then why are you with a woman that is not going to work, is not working, and is not going to work? What is making you stay there?
Well, I do care about her, but it's almost like it's, again.
Brian, what
Yeah.
is making you stay with her? You don't care about her, and she doesn't care about you.
Starting over again, probably.
Starting what over again?
My whole life. It's complicated. I just found myself
starting what over again?
Just relationships, and
why are you thinking about starting a relationship when you need to think about working on yourself and overcoming your fallen state?
Yeah, that's why I called you. I was just trying to get some. I don't have any. I don't have anybody to bounce this off of. It's kind of embarrassing a little bit too. To be getting jacked upside the face when nobody's looking. But anyway.
But this woman hates you. She hates you because of your weakness.
That is right, and I am turning beta, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put up with it.
But you're already putting up with it.
Well,
why are you saying you're not going to put up with something that you're already putting up with?
Well, it's gotten to be too much, so.
Because it's going to only get worse because it's not meant to be. A relationship does not require you to work on it. You're not supposed to work on a relationship at all. It's supposed to happen naturally.
Yeah. Well, she comes at me like a wild woman and bows up her fist, and I ain't putting up with it. I really am not going to put up with it.
But she is not your problem. You're your problem.
Yeah. Before you have to go, I want to ask you one real serious question, and that is this. And this is a serious question. It bothers me daily, and I'm struggling with this. Is this? I was raised a Church of Christ out here in the South. You probably know what that means. And they did not teach any grace with God. They taught only fear. And I am battling alcoholism, and I'm afraid that someday it's going to, whatever, that's another issue. But do you believe, and I'm going to hang up and let you tell me, I'll listen off air because I don't want to wear you out, but do you believe when God warns of hell that it is a physical flame burning eternity? Or do you think that it's a metaphor for separation? Because I've heard that my entire life. Because if a man lives 100 years...
You want me to tell you what hell is?
Well, I'm talking about the afterlife. I'm talking about the penalty for our sin.
That's what I'm talking about, too. You want me to tell you what hell is? It's not a burning place. It's not all the fire and brimstone. None of that, right? You know what hell is?
What?
the misery that you're in right now.
Yeah, but if you live like a fool, Jesse, your entire life, I do believe and you don't accept God and the Lord, you don't make any efforts and you deny God like this world's trying to do, there's a payment for that. I do believe there's some.
And you're right.
But,
and the payment is misery in life. You have fear, you have doubt, you're looking for love, you're lost, you're lonely, you're suicidal thought, you're drunk, you're this or you're that. That's hell. Because you have not returned to the Father. And so you're already living in hell, and when you drop your body, you're stuck. There's no way out. Whereas right now, while you're living, you can overcome your hell, and when you do drop your body, you'll just continue in eternal life. But if you don't work on yourself while you're living, you're stuck in damnation in hell.
I can't continue living like this 3 or 4 more years. I can't live like that. It is a living hell. I never even thought about it that way.
Yeah, you're living in hell. That's what hell is. Your misery is your hell. Because you're worshiping the devil. You love your misery. You love fighting with this woman because it's a thrill. It's a thrill to get angry, and it's a thrill to feel good. That's hell. That's what hell is.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope that it ain't as bad as I've been warned my entire life since I was 5 years old.
No, it's not what all that stuff that the preachers told you. That's not that. I'm telling you, it's what you're living right now. Your misery is your hell. Have you heard me say, go and forgive your mother and father?
I have.
Have you done that?
I have, absolutely. They're good people, but yeah, my mother was the alpha in our home, and it does cause problems. It does cause problems.
What did your mother say to you when you went and forgave her?
I've never told her that way. I've never said it to her that way. I just done it in I've done it in my own heart.
That's not forgiveness. God said, in order for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven, and before you can enter in, you must go and forgive. You got to face your mother. Because every woman you get involved with is your mother. You're attracted to what you hate. You gotta go and forgive your mother, man.
All right. Well, I appreciate what you do. You do a great job.
Will you go?
You're a country boy.
That's for sure. Will you go and forgive your mother?
Absolutely, and I do in my heart, Jesse. Yeah, but I know what you're saying.
What am I saying?
Well, I think you're saying verbalize it to her because I do forgive her for she acted a fool all of our life.
Right.
Yeah, all of my dad.
That's why you've been alcoholic. That's why you've been misery. You hate your mother. You're angry at her for her imposed her anger upon you. Now you got to go and face her and forgive her. Don't be, hey, mother, I've been resenting you all my life. You acted a fool all my life, and now I become like you. Every woman I get involved with is just like you. I'm sorry for resenting you. And God will forgive you. Don't ask for forgiveness. You forgive her, and God will forgive you.
Well, I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing. I heard all that. I do hear it. I just, some of us are stubborn, but
right.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you for what you do.
All right,
thanks,
buddy.
man.
Okay. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Chris, a first-time call out of Indiana. Chris, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, Desi?
All is well. Thanks for calling.
That's good. Well, I got a couple questions for you, Desi.
Okay.
All right. So I started talking to this girl a month ago. We've been with each other for a month. And, she's spoiled, and she got everything handed down to her parents, and she's the only daughter of her dad's children. He don't have no other daughter but her and 2 brothers. And she said that she values their opinion, and she's taken their advice, and they got her far in life. And
they got what now?
She just turned 20.
Oh, they got her far in life?
Yeah, their advice got her far in life,
okay.
And so she values their opinion.
Okay.
And I'm trying to tell her that you got to make your own choices, and she tells me that she understands, but she really don't. So how do I deal with that? How do I let her make her own choices?
How old are you?
I'm 21.
Okay, hold on for me. Can you hold on? Let me take a break.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live, and Hate did not have to tell me. Amazing. You be like, back in a moment. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing. We're having church up in here. I don't see the Father State thing yet. We're having church up in here. The Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour at 9 a.m. Pacific time. It is in the packet. It's an updated packet. It's sent. The Hake Report. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just not standing out. I don't know. And blending in and everything. TheHakeReport.com. Sorry about that. TheHakeReport.com. At 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV, he black. Where? Yeah. Okay. It's so blended in with everything, I can't see it. It's so small and blend in and blah, blah, blah. What else? The Hake, Joy on Friday TV at 11. Sorry about that. Joy on Friday TV at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. He black. I mean, no, he's Mexican. Oh, he's an anchor baby. A lot of energy. All right. And then a brand new episode of The Fallen State. They coming Friday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. I had a very interesting discussion with, I have to do this later, folks.
Kali Fontanilla.
Because I can't see it. Kali what?
Fontanilla.
Oh, and what did we talk about? I mean, what's her thing?
Well, she's a public school teacher turned social media personality and founder of the Exodus Institute, an online kindergarten through 12th grade school for patriotic families.
Thank you, Hake. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
I really wanted to be a mom, but God has closed that door for me to have my own kids, so now it's everybody else's child.
Really?
And I did not think I was ever going to leave being a public school teacher. I had set up this little life for myself that I loved, but then something happened that just made me realize, oh wow, this career is changing. I actually got a gift for being a black teacher.
What the?
I've been banned 11 times on TikTok. I have to fight against the censorship constantly.
What's wrong with the black?
I love you, Jesse.
Amazing. It was a fun discussion. You're going to like it this Friday at 12 noon. Let me go quickly back to Chris, our first-time caller out of Indiana. And Chris, you're 21?
Yes.
And you're dealing with your girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay, and your question is what?
My question is like, how do I deal with her, letting her parents make her own choices for her?
Okay. You dump her and don't deal with her at all.
Amazing.
Amazing. And you know why?
Why?
You are too young to be spending this type of energy trying to make a woman work. You need to be working on yourself. And when you do date, there's nothing wrong with dating, and men and women should date so you can get to know how to deal with them in the right way. But you should not spend one iota of a time, not even a second, trying to make a relationship work. You can't make a relationship work. Whether it's a friendship, marriageship, familyship, it's supposed to work naturally. And if you're trying to make it work, all you're doing, you and her are creating problems. It's only going to get worse. It's never going to get better because you're trying to make something be that is not.
Yeah.
So just drop her and stop trying to change people.
Okay.
You can't even change yourself. You need to be working on you, overcoming your anger, coming out of your imagination, going to work, saving your money, buy yourself a house, buy some land. You need to be working on you. You're 21 years old. You have no business at all trying to make this girl. If she doesn't want to, whatever, let her be what she is. And if you want to date with her, date her, but don't be trying to make it work.
Okay.
And don't argue with her. You speak up, but don't argue. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But you spend your time seeking what is right. Seek first the kingdom of God and his right way, and everything will be added unto you. If God wants you to get married and have a family, he's going to put the right woman in your life, and you will have a marriage that will last until death do you part. And you would not spend 1 second trying to make it work. You're not supposed to be trying to make a relationship work.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What do you think about that?
Amazing.
Yeah, so don't argue. Okay, if she said, okay, I want to do what my folks tell me to do, say, okay, bye. Is that hard to do?
No.
Okay, yeah. Don't be so emotional attached that it controls you.
Okay.
I wish you well, Chris.
Huh?
I wish you well.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes, sir.
And I watch you all the time, and and I was telling her like, hey, racism don't exist.
Yeah.
She argues with me, and she tells me, and she was like, well, you got to look back. It's been studies. It's been this. You got to look back what they did to our people, this and that, this and that. When I told her back then, all people wasn't racist. All people wasn't racist because there was some white people that knew there was some good black people. There was black people that knew there was good white people.
Yeah.
She don't understand that. So how should I address the situation to make her realize that racism don't exist?
Well, don't try to make her realize it. You can't make another person see. You tell her the truth about it as you've done, and then leave it where it is. Don't try to make her see anything. Only God can cause those people, cause you to see if you want to see. But if you don't want to see, He leave you in the darkness. So you just tell her the truth about it, and you're right. It never exists. It doesn't exist. It's evil, good versus evil. But if she doesn't want to hear it, just say, "Oh, okay." Don't argue about it at all.
Okay.
Don't try to make anyone see anything.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Yes, made perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then she also said that I even asked her, I was like, "Do you got anger in you?" I said, "Anger is evil."
Yeah.
She tries to tell me anger is not evil because she says it's scripture in the Bible that God said anger is good. It's okay to have anger.
God never said that.
That's what I tried telling her.
You got the wrong woman, by the way.
Well, she says she's a Christian, and
those are the worst. Those are the worst ones. Because you're not going to be able to lead her. She's never going to obey you because she studied the Bible. She thinks she knows more than you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
so dump her. Can you dump her?
Dump her.
Yeah.
Dump her.
Yeah.
I'm dumping her.
Give her the finger.
And
give her the finger. She's a Cherokee.
And so, she's real spoiled. Everything's been handed down to her. She'll tell you that she spends her parents' money and stuff like that, and she expects me to get the things that she wants.
Have you been spending money on her?
No, because what my mom always told me, people in hell want ice water, but they can't get it.
That's right. Absolutely. Your mother was right about that one. Do not spend any money on her at all. But I got to run, okay. But just... if you want to just hang out with her, but don't be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay.
And but don't try to prove anything to her or anyone. If they ask you a question, you tell them what the facts are. If they don't want to accept it, fine. Don't try to make anyone see anything, and don't argue with anyone about anything. You can't make people see.
Yeah.
And you just continue to work on you.
Okay.
All right. Let me know how it goes,
Thank
Chris.
you so much, Jesse.
You're welcome, buddy. Amazing.
Bye.
Bye now. Amazing. Amazing. Let me go out to Canada real fast and talk to Ari out of Canada. Ari, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing, man?
All is well. Thanks for calling.
Before I get to the question, I just want to say when that young 13-year-old girl called you and just asked for advice, I was very impressed with how you were able to handle that, by the way.
Oh.
And, that was really, really cool to watch.
Thank you.
No problem. Now, for the questions here, for a free biblical question, I want to get to that in a second because I have a few questions for you about it. Like, you said, correct me if I'm wrong, about free will, right? You said, well, we don't control it, our own free will.
No one has a free will. There's not one human being on earth that never has, never will have a free will.
Can you break that down for a sec for me a little bit better?
Yeah, I can. There is no one on earth never has, never will have a free will.
And isn't it pointless to be asking the biblical questions to a bunch of people who don't have the will to freely go to God?
What do you mean by that?
Well, if no one has free will, then isn't it pointless to ask the question, do you want to be different? Because then in the day, you don't have free will to even make the decision of your own anyway, so what's the point?
That's a very interesting question, man, but I can't reach. It's such a good question, that I can't respond to it because I don't want to answer the biblical questions.
You don't want to, or the ones controlling your thought don't want you to?
Yeah, I will respond to it on Sunday.
On Sunday, okay. What time do you start that one at?
It's at 11 a.m. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church, and it starts at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and I don't know what time Eastern time because I don't have it up there. But 11 a.m. Pacific time. 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
And 1 p.m. Central time. Make sure you tune in. You're going to hear the response to that.
Okay.
All right?
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Thank you, buddy. Oh, amazing. 888-775-3773. Super chat. Super.
Super chats.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Mike Young says, hey, Jesse, 2 things I have for you. When you spoke about California, I would say you are right. It's gone. Because of all the Democrat voters love their pain and suffering, they're not born again with the Spirit of the Father.
But not just California, my country is gone.
Last thing, do you think that also applies to the reason Kamala Harris could be president because of the fact the voters of this country have not been born again?
No. Amazing. Interesting question, but no.
Thank you, Mike Young.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
C with a coffee. Jesse.
Hey, C.
TMI. Too much information on the eye surgery explanation. California is the United States
Well, they really didn't take it out. I'm just playing about that. Thank you, C.
California is really the United States of Mexico. Anyway, did you hear about the Trump indictment again? Do you really think they'll let him back in?
Oh, I heard that there was a new charges or something on the Trump thing, and but don't worry, it won't. Nothing going to happen before November for sure. For it's a court thing, it's just another way to try to stop the Great White Hope. The last thing the Democrats want and the liberal media and the never Trumpers want is Donald Trump back in the White House. And so they're going to be doing everything they can to stop him. You haven't seen anything, see what happened between now and November. It ain't over yet. But don't worry, all is well. Thank you, C.I.
Lori Coffee. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
The assignment this week is beautiful because I see the devil loves keeping me busy with thoughts of other people's evil.
Yeah.
And Satan hates when I see the evil thoughts he gives me because it shines a light on the darkness. There's peace in keeping eyes on self.
Amazing. Keep your eyes on your evil for 1 week. It's going to be... Stay with it. You haven't seen anything yet. Thank you. Amazing.
Harry bought a coffee. I can choose between pumpkin pie or sweet potato pie. So what do you mean when you say no free will? And that it does not exist?
Human beings do not have a free will. Period. And if they say they do, they're lying to you. Or just blind and can't see and don't realize what they're saying. You do not have a free will. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry. Renee, 3 coffees. Jesse, I'm going to ask you.
Ask.
What you like to ask other people. Who is Jesse Lee Peterson?
I refuse to answer. Thank you.
Pastor Chatelet says black men served in government before, during, and after the revolution, and black people owned slaves. These callers have been spoon-fed narratives and not looked at the source documents. Big smile emoji beta.
It's so unfortunate, too, but I understand people, it's like that in most people's lives. They don't, that's why I do the biblical question, because people don't know if they really know or not. They just go by what somebody said. Like they tell them, you have a free will. They believe it. And then when they try to will things to be, it doesn't work. And then they tell them, Jesus God. And the people just believe it. And their lives get worse, and they don't question why. They say, oh, well, when I get to heaven. They said slavery was bad. Oh, my God, slavery was just awful. And 150 years later, the blacks still can't function. And they believe it because they don't search for themselves. They just take someone else at their word. What a sad way to live. Thank you, Pastor.
TMCLI, Tmukli. How do I buy your little books? This is a Rumble rant. And little T-shirts when you are in Little Europe. Double question mark. I'm in Little Europe. How do I buy your books and T-shirts?
Nice. How did they get them? And my books are amazing. I will sign them, too.
You can try going to...
She's in Europe, right?
He or she is in Europe.
And what do they do?
I gather. Rebuildingtheman.com/stores.
Yeah.
And Amazon probably would send the books to Europe.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then Teespring and these other places, Printify, whatever. I don't know if they ship to Europe. Do they ship to Europe?
Well, call 800-411-BOND. You can do that. 800-411-2663. Or email rebuildingtheman.com/store.
Yeah.
And the person that handle all that will connect to you. And if they'll tell you how to do it. If there are any
as
problems.
far as signed books purchased through Bond, I guess you get a quote for the shipping.
Yeah. They'll tell you the whole deal of how to get it done.
And you can call that number. It's free via Skype, even if you're in Europe.
800-411-2663 or rebuildingtheman.com. Is that right? Yeah.
Rebuildingtheman.com contact page.
Nice.
Commander Kim with the Rumble rant. Ketanji Jackson. That's the Supreme Court gal. She
doesn't even know what a woman is. Does she?
If you don't know what a woman is, then you also can't define a child or consent. Ketanji was shockingly soft on child sex crimes, which is why she was chosen, says Commander Kim.
She's black. What do you expect? Amazing. Thank you.
Nick LeBoy, Rumble Rant. California is trying to install a new voter base. That's the reason for the mortgage incentive. No different from a beta male trying to get sex on the first date with an expensive dinner.
Amazing. Thank you.
All my bone days bought a coffee.
All my bone days.
Wait a minute. Females get the whole day Monday, but Manhood Hour is only for an hour today? What the?
Well, Manhood Hour has always been 1 hour.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's not just today, but the last hour has always been minute.
Women are more wordy, so they need more time.
They need the whole day.
Britt.
Thank you.
5 coffees from Britt. Thumbs up emoji. Thank you.
Thank you, Britt.
Elizabeth. 3 coffees. Buenos dias, Jesse. ¿Qué lo que? Dímelo.
Sí.
Happy Men's History Month party emoji.
Thank you.
If you can sense/see evil from someone and decide to avoid or minimize contact with that person, is it judgment or just your natural God-given intuition to stay clear?
No, it's not judgment. It's only judgment if you become angry at what you see in another person. When you're angry, you are judging. Angry people judge. They play God. And they are worse off than the person that they are angry because they're playing God and they think they're better. But they're worse. They are murderers. Anyone that has anger is a murderer. Amazing. Thank you.
What does the Great White Hope have to say for us today?
Let me chat, and then I got to squeeze in some calls here.
I have a running war with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
Amazing. Thank you all. Let me take a quick call here before we end.
In Europe.
Thank you.
Anchor Baby says he was able to purchase the book on Amazon and for an order to the UK and was able to do the same for Printify.
Yeah, it definitely can be done. And we get orders from around the world all the time. So go to rebuildingtheman.com/store, rebuildingtheman.com/store, or call 800-411-BOND. 800-411-2663. We send out orders all the time around the world. So it can be done. Let me go to Terry out of California. Thank you all so much. Terry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Terry. Thanks for calling.
Awesome. So I wanted to take a crack at the biblical question, but I would like to
Do you want to be different?
No. I would like to first say, though, that I love your biblical question. This one was really deep, and it really helped me look at myself.
Nice.
And it really helped me know God. Like, it's really good, because at first I said, yes, I want to be different. Of course I want to be different, right? And then it came to me, if God is in control and all I can do is wait for God and do what's in front of me and what he presents to me to do, then I really shouldn't want for anything, right? It's like I can want to be, I can want to live until 103, but I can die tomorrow, right? So I don't really have any control over, wants and needs and all of those things. So no, I don't want to be different.
Amazing. Thank you, Terry. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday.
Thank you. And then also I would love to say that I love the hate news. It makes me laugh out loud. I really love your show, Jesse. It's so amazing.
Right.
Thank you guys for all you do.
You're welcome, and thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. If you wait on the Lord, He'll supply your every need. If you wait on the Lord, He'll supply your every need. Teach me, Lord, today how to wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. Teach me, Lord, today how to wait. Amazing. I am so out of time. I don't know what happened. But you know what? Amazing stuff coming up now. The Hate Report is coming up right now. The Hate Me Show is unique. There's none on earth like it. Really. The hate, if you're first time callers, y'all listen to the hate. Right now, he's coming up at the top of this hour. HAKE report. White guy with good hair. White man with good hair. And then Joel Friday TV. He black. Oh my God. Joel Friday TV. And then the American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. Riding high. Not off fentanyl. Not off pot. But off natural energy. You don't want to miss that. A ride of a lifetime. At 4 p.m. Pacific time. I do. Joel just sent me a note. Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. So check it all out. Get on the straight and narrow, folks. Don't live in your hell. You can overcome your hell while you're living and have perfect peace right here on earth. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're not your body. Stop identifying with those things. You're not your vices either. Stop identifying with them. Don't call yourself anything. How about that? All right. Do the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Forgive your mothers and your fathers, and you will overcome all those spirits. I'm out of time. I'll be back tomorrow. Bible Thumper Thursday. Tomorrow, the Hate Report is coming up now. Mike from wherever Mike was. Adam from first time call out of Canada. Philip from Sweden. Rick out of Virginia. And the caller just dropped. I'm out of time. Bye, y'all. Have a good day. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. I read or heard that some Republicans are starting to pull their advertisements from Google or whomever, right? because so many conservatives are being shut down, discriminated against, shadow banned, and all that kind of stuff. So conservatives are starting to fight back. It is happening to us too. I'm just taking it one day at a time. But you can go to jlptalk.com and find all the ways to support us. You can check out rebuildingdemand.com and support our nonprofit organization. You can call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share, and study. And also, we have thefallenstate.tv. Ring the bell.